Graphing inequalities. Inequality means not equal. If things aren't equal, then one number would be bigger than another. So the way we say that is with the inequality sign. We say 5 is greater than 2. Now keep in mind you can always state this two ways. 5 is greater than 2 is the same thing as 2 is less than 5. The thing to note here is look at the sign. See how the open side is towards the 5 in the top statement? And if you look at the bottom statement, the open side is still towards the 5. The point is towards the 2 in the top statement, and the bottom statement, the point is still towards the 2. These two are the same. Now, it's more obvious here, but when I throw in an x, that seems to confuse people. So if I say x is greater than 3, again, keep in mind, see how the open side is towards the x and the point is towards the 3? This would be the same thing as keep the point towards the 3 and the open side towards the x. These two are the same. So as we move forward, keep that in mind. As long as the open side is towards the x, in both cases, or the point is towards the 3, you can see that they're the same. Now when we read this, the top one is x is greater than 3, the bottom one is 3 is less than x. But most of the time when we're graphing, we want to start with that variable. So start with your x. Notice that I'm looking for numbers. X is a number. The open side means greater, so I'm looking for numbers that are greater than 3. So even though this bottom one is written different, when we're graphing, it's easier to understand if you read it from the variable and say, hey, I'm looking for numbers that are greater than 3. So if I have x is greater than 3, again, keep in mind it's the same thing as saying 3 is less than x, because I'm looking for numbers that are greater. The open side means greater than 3. Those can be shown on a number line. There are infinite amounts of them. Take your number 3, put it right in the middle, put a few numbers on each side. I'm only going to shade solutions. Shading means a solution. Because 3 isn't greater than 3, 3 is not a solution, we have an open circle on 3. That identifies that 3 does not work. It's not shaded. We're only going to shade things that make that statement true. Numbers greater than 3 are to the right. So we draw a little arrow and we keep showing by shading that every number on the right side of that open circle is a solution. If I give you a question that says x is less than or equal to -4, and I ask you to graph and show me all the solutions to this inequality, I'll start off with my number line. I'll put -4 right in the middle and a couple numbers on each side. Keep in mind, bigger numbers are always on the right side and smaller numbers are always on the left side. Now in this case, -4 is equal to -4. See the equal on our statement here? That means that -4 would make that statement true. So rather than an open circle, we fill the thing in. We shade it and identify that that is a solution. Numbers less than 4, again, see how the point is towards the x. I'm looking for numbers less than -4. Those are to the left. So over here, if I say x is greater than or equal to 8, I'll take my number line. Again, the open side is greater, so I'm looking for numbers greater than 8. I'll put 8 right in the middle of my number line. Bigger numbers on the right, smaller numbers on the left. Because 8 is equal to 8, 8 is a solution. I'll fill in 8 and I'll fill in the circle. Numbers greater than 8, the open side means greater. I'll shade to the right. Last example, if I say x is less than -7, On my number line, I'll put -7 right in the middle. Bigger numbers to the right. Smaller numbers to the left. And -7 wouldn't be a solution, so I have an open circle on -7 because that doesn't make the statement true. Remember, the point is the smaller side. I'm looking for numbers less than -7. Numbers less than are to the left. I'll shade that and identify my solutions. So you can see how this works on WAMAP. Here is a few questions for examples. So in question 1 here, I'm looking for numbers greater than 1, and I'm only going to shade solutions, only numbers greater than 1. 1 is not greater than 1, so it's not a solution. The open circle means it's not a solution. So put an open circle on 1, but that's where our numbers start, our answers start, but it's not a solution. Numbers in greater than 1 are to the right, and when you draw this, click right in the center of the circle and draw very slowly and keep drawing until you get an arrow. If you don't do that correctly, it's going to mark it wrong. Question 2. X is less than 0. 0 isn't less than 0, but that's where my answers start. So I put an open circle on 0 because it's not a solution. Numbers less than 0 are to the left. Smaller numbers are always to the left. Click in the center of the circle, draw your line carefully, keep drawing until you get that arrow. Another example, let's find one with an equal to. Here we go. X is less than or equal to 2. 2 is equal to 2. 2 is a solution in this case. Since there's an equal to, I put a solid dot on 2. And I want numbers less than. Numbers less than, again, are always to the left. And let's see if we got another one here. How about X is greater than or equal to 2? So 2 is a solution again, because 2 is equal to 2. So because there's that equal, I put a solid dot. Numbers greater than are to the right. So I start in the center of the dot and very carefully draw my line until I get that arrow and submit.